What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another edition of MVP Sports Live right here on either twitch.tv or you may be watching us on YouTube. I am joined, as I always am, with my beautiful co-host, my esteemed co-host, Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
Do you like beautiful or esteemed better? Or do you like
esteemed sounds more accomplished.
Does it sound too snotty or snooty to where it's like my esteemed, like I should be going my esteemed co-host? Like, is it one of those things?
Perhaps. Like I will never take a shot at beautiful like that. That's just, it helps the person out.
That confidence just goes up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
doesn't have to be true. It helps.
It'd be different if like I came in here. Yeah, my butt ugly co-host over here.
That would, after a while, that would start to hurt a little.
It's just not the same. But we're all beautiful people here at MVP. But we're back talking about sports as we always love to do. Big week as we're making our predictions for the NBA. Those are tomorrow. The preseason starts on Friday. First basketball games for the NBA before their season.
How many people are healthy for it? Because right now, every team's reporting about 2 to 5 people have the COVIDs.
Because Dave, James Harden is one of them. He's afraid to play the Bulls on Friday. Like Bulls Twitter's like he's afraid to play us. Patty Williams gonna lock him down, baby.
That must be what it is. Right.
Oh, he's afraid of the rookie Pat Williams in his first...
Not the strippers or the gambling nor the contract or the team.
No, but we're definitely going to get into that, though. We're talking James Harden, we're talking Eagles, and then we're going to recap every game, give our thoughts about what went on in the NFL this week. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that NFL fucking stuff, that'll take about 40 minutes on its own. But housekeeping...
We'll just breeze right through 45 minutes later. And the fourth game of the day...
Housekeeping to start. I'll keep it short and sweet. Discord, best community on the internet. Go ahead and join it. That link down in the description, or you can hit ! Discord in the Twitch chat to get that link. If you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is the way to go. Interact with the show, get content early, get into voice chats on the Discord. Yet again, link down below ! Patreon into that Twitch chat. And then we're live on Twitch every Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/MVPvids, but we're also on YouTube at MVP Sports. So go ahead and check us out, sub, follow, like, all at both of those places. And Dave, the first thing we're taking a dive into is the hottest story of the weekend, and that is James Harden and the Houston Rockets. So kind of to set the page here, it was reported that I think on Saturday he was at, I believe the artist's name was Lil Panda. He was at his birthday party that was at a strip club. Yeah. He got him a gift. That James Harden, you got to give him a gift.
Very nice.
Can't go to a birthday party empty-handed.
Cash, Very
just
propes.
Making it fucking rain at the strip club. Sunday was there again. Was seen again out in Atlanta. We've also got quotes of James Harden's mom commenting on the situation where she's basically just saying he wants to play to get a ring.
She was antagonized. It's not like she came out and said something. It was fans of the Rockets started harassing her on Twitter.
Yeah.
So she had to make a statement.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do when you're a childish idiot who is a fan of the sport. You go harass the player's mother. Yeah, because that'll get something done.
I'm just saying, we actually have comments from the mom.
We talk about the terminology of fanatic, and that's 100% where this is. Like when reason just fails to exist in your mind, you're like, I know what I'll do. I'm mad at sports player. I'll go harass sports player's mom.
I wouldn't even think that she had a Twitter account. Like,
I don't know.
I mean, I just think of my parents. Like, my parents aren't on Twitter. Like, unless they went to Facebook, and Mrs. Harden's on Facebook. Because do you know how to post videos to Facebook? But we got her comment because fans antagonizing her. And then we've got comments from let's see. I've got 2 ESPN articles with some quotes. So the first one Silas said is, I'm not exactly sure what hoops he has to jump through in order to practice with the team. And that was after he was seen at the strip club on Saturday. I would just say I want him here. I want him to be a big part of what we're doing. I'm excited to coach him and have him be part of what we just had out there with a good practice, with a bunch of guys who are working hard on both ends of the floor and had a good vibe out there for them. In the second article, that was obviously the second one is Steven Silas says he's giving disgruntled James Harden space. He then said, when stuff like this kind of happens, where there's a little indecision and stuff going on, I kind of take a step back and allow guys some space. Silas said in virtual media availability on Thursday, a day after Rockets granted Russell Westbrook's wish to be traded to the Wizards in the John Wall deal. From my perspective, my communication has been, I'm giving you space, and that's kind of where it's been as far as my communication with him. Guys like that need that. They need to figure it out, and they don't need someone banging on them all the time to kind of figure out where they're at and whatnot. Dave, what is your thought on this situation? James Harden, obviously, he's not happy with the Rockets.
Yeah, no shit.
No shit.
Like, this is one of those situations where I think at the end of the at the end of the bubble, you know, everybody was feeling like, hey, they had a good team. They obviously have some flaws they need to work on, but like they're in such a position. We'll have to wait and see what happens in free agency and how some players get moved. And then the narrative kept shifting around for blame. And eventually the blame landed on Russell Westbrook. And obviously the front office and head coach were cleared out and some moves were made. And then we found out more about Russell Westbrook and the type of person he is in the locker room. And then we found more about James Harden and the type of person he is and is not in a locker room. And I think that the public perception has completely flipped on this from like, you know, James Harden's just out there to win and all this shit. And like, he can't get help. He can't get the help he needs to win a championship. Like, James Harden's just a selfish player who is not a leader, who is not a locker room guy, who is not anybody who you want to be on your team, basically. It's almost like he's become toxic. And now he's also forcing his way out of Houston, a team that has built around him for like the last 6+ years, it feels like. And he's like, nope, not playing here. I refuse to do shit. Like, this is the, like, I think the Silas quote that I love the best was like, you know, what's up with James Harden? He's like, ask him yourself. I don't know. Like, just like, fucking man, like, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
Like, the guy's not showing up to work and they can't do anything about it. They can't force his hand. You can dock him pay, but what's that going to do?
Yeah.
Like, he's already making a stupid amount of money. He doesn't want to be there with this roster, with this head coach, with this front office. And he's made that extremely and abundantly clear. So if he's going to continue to be a child about this, and that's his right, there's nothing wrong with that. But like, I'm going to go stay out in strip clubs and go gamble and all this shit. Like, all this behavior basically, because the NBA, something else to note, the NBA did ban outside activities for its players.
They banned it the day, so they came out with that on Saturday, the day we saw him at the strip club. So it just
so it's
kind of happened to coincide with both of them.
It's a pretty clear message that James Harden, who has been memed on often for like, depending on the strip club availability around him, his player goes and gets better or worse. You know, that's the situation. It's just, he's just such a weird situation where he is a top 5 player in the NBA at times. And yet the packages out there for him didn't seem to be at the right value to move him. So the Rockets are like, screw it, we will try to win with him almost in spite of his wishes. And I don't know, like, if you had to ask me today, is James Harden going to start the season with the Rockets?
I was gonna say, is he gonna miss regular season games? Because I think
50-50. I'm 50-50. I don't know if he will come back. Like, part of me wants to say he will because he understands the regular season, and like the only way to, you know, make sure that other teams are going to be willing to trade for him is if he's healthy, in shape, and able to start soon. Because again, remember with COVID protocols and everything out there, they do have to quarantine. They do have to get set aside for a period of time, and then they're cleared to join the team for workouts and whatnot. So like, if he hasn't started that, then it's adding on basically another week from the time you want to trade for him. So it's a question. But again, if the front office of the Rockets, and we have seen the ownership has some gears to grind with the rest of the league, and the ownership's already hated. It's such a rough position. Should they trade him? Yes, but for what package? And that's kind of where you and I left off.
Yeah, and before the show, we were talking about that. And first thing I will say is, yes, I expect James Harden to miss regular season games only because of the fact of, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. I know for a fact that him and Danny and Tony had a good relationship. Was Daryl Morey also a James Harden guy? Like, that's the thing. Did they have a good relationship?
Yes. Daryl Morey was happy to use someone who played into the analytics as well as he did. Yeah.
So, like, I look at that and I go, you get rid of Daryl Morey, you're getting rid of Dan Antoni. Right away, James Harden feels alienated of, like, this is this is my team. Now it's like, this is not my team. Where are you going? Like, you get rid of my coach, you get rid of my GM. Now all this shit comes out with basically it pitted Russell Westbrook against James Harden. And I have said this since the Russell Westbrook trade. The Rockets traded the wrong one, Dave. The one they should have been moving was James Harden, because if they would have traded James Harden instead of Russell Westbrook, I'm not saying the same exact deal, but let's just say Harden was traded and Westbrook wasn't. We're talking about this Rockets team very differently today, where I think we're talking about where it's like, okay, Russ is there with the team. This Rockets team has a new outlook on things. Like, Russ is now the new leader of the Rockets, and we're moving forward in a positive light. Instead, it's kind of like, I told this to Soapy, I feel bad for John Wall in a way, because first off, he's in a bad, I don't want to say a bad situation, but a situation that was not going to work between him and Bradley Beal because of the two alphas thing we always joke about.
It's such a joke. Don't even bring it up.
And then he gets traded, and it's like, woo, I get traded, and he gets traded to this shit show. Like, he's got to step in, and it's like, new team, new city, and he's got to deal with this drama.
He looks like he's in good shape, which is nice to see, because that was one of the questions was he going to look like the homeless bum he showed up at the Olympic camp a while back? He's like, what shape is he going to be in between there and, like, elite? Looks like he's kept himself in really good shape coming off that injury. So I don't know if I feel bad for him, but
I just feel bad that he's got to step. Like, you get traded to a new team.
He gets with his buddy. It's him and Boogie versus the world.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if I was him coming into a new situation, it's like, okay, I want to hit the ground running with Boogie, with James Harden. Oh, wait, James ain't here. Why is James not here? Fuck, James ain't here. Why is James... Like,
James doesn't want to be here.
It puts him in automatically, like, a shitty situation, because it's like, it's not my team. It's not my team. It's James Harden's team. Like...
Make it his team during the next couple of weeks if James holds out that long.
Which won't bode well for James Harden, but I don't think James Harden cares about that.
There's a lot of new face in that locker room. It's basically what PJ Tucker and Eric Gordon are the old men on the roster.
And PJ Tucker wants out, I think, too.
PJ Tucker wants to get paid. He's like old and still playing elite, so it's kind of weird combo.
But like the thing to get to Harden, and you mentioned it, is me and you before we started the show, we're kind of talking about trade packages, and it's like I understood where you were coming from. Like, James Harden on paper is one of the top 5, if not top 3, depending on who you are, players in the league, or has shown that numbers-wise and play-wise, he can be one of those players. So it's like, on paper, you go, he's one of these players, this is what I want for him. And I think the Rockets are trying to get that ransom that they lost in the Russell Westbrook trade. However...
The Russell Westbrook CP3 trade.
Yeah, the Russell Westbrook CP3, not the John Wall one. When they got Russell Westbrook. However, because of, like you said, the ownership's already hated, so teams are not going to want to play ball with them anyways. And then... I
mean, look at the move they made earlier. Like, does the Robert Covington for Trevor Ariza deal make any sense to anyone? Like, it was obviously just so they could flip Ariza to get Christian Wood. But at the same time, like, value-wise, I'm like, I don't know about that.
I mean, but like
question marks. I don't know what the move they've made already. It already sets questions.
I mean, but also James Harden doing what he's doing right now. I mean, I know that other teams are going to see this as like he wants to get a ring, but I'm sorry, if I was any other GM, let's say I'm the Nets GM and I'm trying to work a deal for James Harden, I am using this in negotiations of like, whoa. Why would I give you that when I got to take on this, I'm basically taking your drama. So, I mean.
Also, the Rockets have no fucking firepower here. They got no leverage.
Yeah.
Basically, the Nets can go. So, yeah, we want James Harden because he won't play for you. And because he won't play for you, this is the best we're willing to offer. Counter? No. You don't get it. He's not going to play for you. So you move him or you get nothing. Like, that's what it feels like they could, other teams can kind of try to strong arm them into. And I'd be curious to see if that's followed through on.
Yeah. I mean, this is a very interesting situation that I think, because it's the whole thing
have a repackage. The Sixers do have a couple of really good options, but we haven't heard anything laid out on paper. Like, this is a deal that was offered. We've heard rumors, no official deal offered. And of course, there's the bad blood there, front office to front office now, because the Sixers picked up Daryl Morey from the Rockets. So, like, you understand where that's going. I think that's the problem, is that the two options everyone's looked at right now that make the most sense are both in the air as far as like what offers are actually going to be there. Other teams like the Heat have no need to go after him like with a heavy offer. But yes, they could maybe flip a Tyler Hero and like another piece or two and a future pick and try to get him, but like they're not real fucking forced to do it right now. They're just, hey, we'll just we were just in the finals, and if we had two other people healthy, we had a shot to win the finals. Like, let's not rock the boat too much.
And like,
that's what I brought up. Like a team like say it, Ricky. Who did I bring up earlier?
You brought up the Nets. You brought up the Sixers. You brought up the Warriors.
The Warriors.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that one just doesn't sit right with me.
Contract wise, it works. Value wise, it's the best potential offer. And again, who knows what they would actually be willing to offer? But I just there are contracts out there that are highly valued.
The reason why I don't see that trade happening is mainly like just due to the fact of the Warriors are a team that and you may say, and I think you did say this before we started, of they have a core to keep James Harden in check. However, if Bob Myers and that front office think, yeah, but what if they can't keep James Harden in check? What if Steve Kerr can't keep him in check? If there's any doubt in James Harden's drama or personality messing up what the Warriors already have, then like if there's a 1% of that, I think the Warriors are like, fuck it, we don't need to do that. Like,
they took a risk before, did they not? And it paid off quite well when they picked up Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but I mean, Durant.
I would say James Harden is obviously not as good as Kevin Durant, but he's in the same category. Let's not be delusional about how good James Harden is. He's not that far off of what Kevin Durant is.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing with Durant was, and yet again, I don't know about this with Harden.
Personality things there.
Well, there was
team drama there.
The reason he went to the Warriors, though, is
because he was mentally weak.
No.
Yes.
During the offseason, he had a relationship a relationship started to bloom, or the Warriors tried to, hey, we're going to build this relationship with KD to bring him in. Like, that's the thing. Like, there was already a relationship building, which made it easy for him to go to the Warriors, where I don't know if James Harden has a relationship with Steph, Clay, Draymond, like KD was starting to develop in that offseason.
Don't know. Not there.
Because, like, to me, I wonder, it's like, okay, so he's got this year, next year, and then a player op. So basically, if he goes to a team he doesn't want to go to this year, next year, what if it's a team like, I'm saying like a team that's not the Sixers, not the Nets. What if like the Kings go, fuck it, we're going to make a run, like somebody like that of like, we're going to make a run to get him on this team, pair him up with what we have. Because just having him on this team catapults us higher than where we are. Is this going to, like, there's a part of me that goes, will he, to bring in an NFL thing, is he basically going to get Brett Favre'd? Where, I know you want to go to this team, but nah, fuck that. You're going to go to this team. We're going to trade you to this team.
I was like, bet he wishes he had a no trade clause. I don't know. I wonder if he does have like some sort of clause.
So all he's got in his contract, and I'm looking at the spot rack right now, is a 2022 player op and a 15% trade kicker.
Right.
That's it.
Which is ridiculous already.
So no trade clause.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting.
Because, like, didn't Melo have that? And basically, if you have a no trade clause, it's like, well, I'll waive it just for these teams.
Yeah, you have the option to accept any trades coming in, and they can tell you up front, like, hey, try to make a deal with these teams. Yeah, there's been a handful of guys in the NBA with it. It's not super popular for that reason because it obviously ties people's hands. But by effectively saying, I want to compete for a championship, that's more or less a no trade clause. Like, if you trade him to a shit team, you know.
Well, and
my fear is he'll just go out there and he'll who do I keep comparing people to when they don't want to play at a place? Was it Vince Carter?
No, not Vince Carter.
Who was it? It was on Toronto. It was someone on Toronto where they didn't want to be there anymore.
Oh, that was Vince. Vince didn't want to be there.
He didn't want to be there anymore, so he quit on the team and put up half his numbers until they traded him. He literally intentionally tanked his own stats to play like a much, 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 much worse player until he was traded. So, like, he could pull that shit and just not give a shit. Like, that's the thing. And I don't think that hurts his value at all. That's the worst part about it. Like, I think any team would love to have James Harden on their team because he's just that good of a player.
Now, this is going to sound stupid, but, like, I'm thinking contractually, this team was going to sign Bogdan, didn't get it done. Would they be able to make contracts work? Could the Bucks say, hey, we didn't get Bogdan to be our third star. We could add a third star. Could they be a team that sneaks in that James Harden wouldn't have a problem with because they're in contention for a ring? And would Giannis, James, and Drew Holiday actually work to where the Bucks would actually want to do that?
To Chris Middleton there.
And Chris Middleton.
50, 40, 90. No, because you'd have to trade him if you're trying to get James Harden.
Good point.
He's 100% included. You can't not trade one of the three stars they have there. And obviously you'd like to keep Drew and Giannis. So, like, Chris Mid would have to be gone. They gave up a lot for that package for Drew. That's the only reason I question, like, I don't know, draft value-wise, if they have the firepower to get that thing done.
Like,
I understand. Like, yeah, it would make a lot of sense. I don't know what the strip club situation is like up there in Milwaukee for James. I appreciate that.
If we're just talking strip clubs, like, the Miami Heat is his place. Like, that's the one he's got to go to.
That's what I'm just saying. Like, or the Tampa Bay Raptors.
That would work too. I think back to the McAfee show on Friday, where I don't remember who he was talking about, but they were talking about winning with the Dolphins. And he was like, so-and-so, it was him and Slareth. And I think it was Slareth said, so-and-so came in and listed on the whiteboard, it said, top 10 reasons you'll never win a Super Bowl in Miami. And it was just the top 10 strip clubs closest to the stadium. That's why you'll never win, because all these strip clubs are here and there's so much to do. But like,
distraction.
I think, like, I wonder if a team like, and I'm just throwing out names here, I'm not saying there's any, but like the Pacers or like the Mavericks or the Grizzlies or the Suns or like these teams to where it's like, and of course in the West there's a lot more of them than the East, I think. But like, is there a team out there that's like, okay, we might not be the favorite to win, but with James Harden, we can sell him on running for a ring. Like, he makes our chances so much better to where will a team like that is not the 1, 2, or 3 in their conference make a run at him because they can still try to sell him on, you can help us win a ring because you are here.
I don't know. Like, I could see a team taking a shot at him, but again, it comes down to like, what's the right value to be willing to give up for someone who, again, you're saying like basically a 2-year deal guaranteed. And even that is like a guarantee, air quote that shit, because if James doesn't want to play, he won't play. So it's very tough. I almost wonder, like, the Timberwolves would be interesting because obviously Cat plus would be Cat plus Harden would be an amazing team. They've got a bunch of pieces up there, but like contract wise, I don't know how you get up, Malik Beasley plus a bunch of shit, basically Malik Beasley, Anthony Edwards, and a pile of shit and that might get you a James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
That's about on the same level offer, if not better, than Karis LeVert and the Nets.
Yeah.
So I think that one I would love to see, because could you imagine like D'Lo, Harden, and Cat on the same team? Like that team would score 140 a night.
Now, correct.
They'd give up about 150, but they would be very fun to watch.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know if I heard you say this. Anthony Edwards would be included in the trade, right? Okay.
Have to be.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's why I was like, oh,
that's why the
Anthony
value.
Edwards.
That's why I brought up the Warriors earlier, because James Watson could be there. Like they have high value picks. What the Houston Rockets had said from a front office standpoint was, we want a young star.
Yeah.
And where do you get a young star? Well, the one that no one's talking about that I do want to ask.
Go ahead.
And this might sound asinine.
Mm-hmm.
The Pelicans. Brandon Ingram is someone who is a young star who doesn't seem to fit in a lot of people's minds playing next to Zion Williamson. And I think Brandon Ingram, I mean, literally, he's...
So you're sending BI to the Rockets in this situation?
What's up?
Are you sending BI to the Rockets? Okay.
Yeah. It was one of my thoughts was like, I know that a lot of people... I love him. I think BI, like literally next to Jason Tatum, is the best young player in the NBA outside. Like it's like the top is obviously it's Luka, then Tatum, then BI, then Trae Young. Like they're all up there fighting for it. And I think that BI is someone who a lot of people don't see the fit next to Zion, and because of the spacing required out there and the ball handling time, like BI could be someone who, yes, is going to be a long-term deal already because they just locked in, what, 5-year, 185 deal, I think?
Yeah, the only thing on that is because BI just signed his contract.
Yeah, he can't be traded for a bit.
Yeah, the date that they would have to wait until is February 28th. He becomes tradable.
Yeah,
so like,
no problemo.
And like,
but I'm just saying, like that's a team where no one's talked about it. They have the assets.
They do.
They are flush with assets.
Do you think a trade? Do you think a trade of like? Do you think a trade of BI, Jackson Hayes, and like Thornwell, and then whatever picks they want to add in? So like,
like 2 firsts and a swap or some shit. Yeah, probably.
Because like Jackson Hayes, I could see them trading because it's like, you know what, we don't really know what he could be here, but like for the Rockets.
They've got other young talent on that team. I know you're just trying to ship Jackson Hayes because you hate him, but
no, I was young talent and like the Rockets.
Well, BI is the young talent. They get a young star who's going to put up 25, 5, and 5 next year or better. Like that's what BI is just awesome at. So
because you're going to need about, let's see, just to do, if I put BI and Harden and do try trade, the Pelicans would have to come up with about $7 million more to make the trade work. Okay. So you'd have to have something else in that deal. But like, that would work because the Pelicans with James Harden, I think become a higher playoff team. It's just going to be interesting to see what teams are willing to give up for him because of all this drama and how they kind of look at it. But I'll be honest, I don't see him getting traded this year. I see him
going to hold on to him.
I think they will. I think the Rockets are going to be stubborn and be like, well, we can't trade him.
And he'll eventually play?
I want to say no, but I'm probably going to say yes. Like, if they say he's not getting traded, I would love for him to sit out the whole year. Play that power
Davis
move.
Shit and be like, nah, I'm good.
I would love to see it. Like, it's one of those things of like, just power play it. If you don't want to play, don't play. Eric brings up a good point. They could do B.I., Redick, and picks. But would you want to give a BI and Redick?
13 mil.
Yeah. So like they could do that and contracts would work. But yeah, this is going to be something that obviously does not end here. And we'll talk about it more as the season unfolds in 2 weeks. But Dave, before we go into NFL recap, kind of the first big story from the NFL this week, Carson Wentz got benched. Like, did not expect it. Did not expect him to get benched. Jalen Hurts comes in. However, there's no verdict on if Jalen Hurts or Carson Wentz will start Week 14. The quote that we have from Doug Peterson is, "I've got to get through wait, is this Peterson that he's talking about? I'm looking at the article. They don't fucking say. Okay. Yeah, I've got to get through injuries. I got to get through the tape. There's a lot of things that I'm going to consider and evaluate before anything is decided. That's what Peterson said. Dave, I'm going to ask you, if you're Doug Peterson, congratulations, you're the new head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Is this an easy choice for you? Is it a hard choice? And who's starting Week 14 against the Saints?
Look, Carson Wentz has been elite and a top 5 MVP candidate for a short run of games. Mm-hmm. At the same time, we don't have the same offensive line. We don't have the same offensive weapons. And he's looked ill-equipped without both of those.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts provides potential. He provides a little mobility. He provides a little bit of excitement, a little spark to that offense. Question is if you make this move, I don't think it shuts the door on Wentz coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just sends a message that's like, hey, your level of play has not been acceptable as a starter. And yes, we have been through some shit. We were a good team, but like that Super Bowl championship, not on you. That's Nick Foles. And that's the point. Everybody wants to go back to that and just be like, well, you didn't win it, and here's why. So I got no problem with it. I think you can go ahead and put Hurts in there.
Mm-hmm.
Let him play, see how he does. Win or lose doesn't really matter at this point in the season. The fucking Giants are apparently going to take the NFC East. Like, who saw that coming?
Colt McCoy, baby. Colt McCoy.
Saw that coming, Ricky.
The only thing I do want to say is I get if you're going to say, well, the Super Bowl ain't on you. The only thing that makes me go kind of like grit my teeth at that is the fact of Carson Wentz was playing we were talking about him being a possible MVP at the end of that year, and then he he injures his leg on a run against the Rams, and then everything fucking changes. So like there's a part of me that's like, they could have won the Super Bowl with Carson Wentz. We don't know. Those questions will never be answered. Woulda, coulda, shouldas. But like, the Eagles have a tough situation of, first off, Doug Peterson. If he plays Jalen Hurts, does that save his job? If Jalen Hurts comes in, plays better than Wentz, because we talked about it before. I think we talked about it last week of basically the Eagles are at who do you get rid of? Wentz, Peterson, or both? Those are your three options. And I was on the situation of get rid of Peterson because Carson Wentz, what do you expect him to do? Like, Ertz has been nothing. Ertz has been nothing this year. Goddard's been injured. Alshon and Deshaun, we haven't seen them all year. They've been injured. Fuck, they're even injured last year. They're always injured. Just call them the Walking Dead, the Philadelphia Walking Dead. That's what they are, especially at the wide receiver position. And it's like, but if you're the front office for the Eagles, if Peterson starts Hurts and he plays better, do you buy in on that and say, oh, you can come back? Or if you're the front office, do you for sure say, well, no, you played better, we're still going to fire you and move on?
Yeah. No, I think I would.
Because, like, does this team get better if Peterson's not there and Wentz is working with somebody else and they get, like, a weapon like Jamar Chase, who I would take in the draft no problem?
I am fine with letting it play out one more season because you just don't know. Like, I'm on the side where he didn't have the line or the weapons to make anything happen.
Yeah.
And when you're in a situation where you don't have talent around you, sometimes putting someone who has creativity and can extend plays in the right way is the right answer. And I think that's what Jalen Hurts can do. I think Jalen Hurts has mobility. I think Jalen Hurts can throw the ball down the field. He'll take shots. Like, he's in a situation where he's playing with house money. Carson Wentz felt like he was trying to put the team on his back.
Yeah.
And like, it just, he crumbled. He absolutely crumbled after that. And like, the amount of times that he held onto a ball and took a sack that just fucked them over is hilarious. He can't throw the ball away. He's like, I don't know if he's been trained wrong or something. Like, mentally, there's something wrong with him where he just cannot give up on a play. So I think you have to make a change just for the sake of change. I don't know if head coach has to play out the season. Honestly, it's play out the season. Let Hurts start this week. If he gets anything going, great. If not, hey, we examined our options. He's going up against a very tough Saints defense. Who do they have after that, though? What's their remaining schedule look like?
Give me 1 second. I'll pull that up.
Sure.
I'll get it.
I mean, it was just the thought of, yeah.
Because we've got 14, 15, 16, 4 more games
Something like that.
after this one. Damn, fucking Steelers. They scored another touchdown, but they gave up a touchdown, Dave.
17-10.
17-10 as we're recording right now. Fucking a day game on Monday night. Come on, tablet. It don't want to load.
Oh, no.
There we go, Eagles. They've got the Saints, Saints at home, Cardinals on the road, Dallas on the road, Washington at home. So, like, what? 2 losable games, 2 winnable games? Like,
yeah.
Cowboys and Washington? Like, let's be honest, too. Like, another thing I would be thinking about is...
It should be favored.
I would say start... I like Carson Wentz. I want to say that first off.
So then leave him.
Because I'm going to say... Like, I'm going to say start Hurts, and people in the comment section are going to be like, oh, Ricky hates Carson Wentz. I love Carson Wentz. I was always a Carson Wentz fan.
Yeah, you're a big homer.
Yep. But there's a part of me that's like, if I'm Peterson, fucking start Hurts. Like, with Hurts or Wentz, you're not going to beat the Saints. With Hurts or Wentz, you're probably not going to beat the Cardinals. And then... There's a chance, but I'll put my money on the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's better. And has more weapons. He's got Deshaun. He's got DeAndre Hopkins.
He's got Nuke.
But those last 2 games are interesting because there's a part of me that thinks which quarterback gives me a better chance to lose those last 2 games. And I know you never want to go into a game trying to lose, but there's a part of me that feels like right now where the Eagles are in the draft, they're in prime Jamar Chase category. Like at the 6th pick, they could get it. I don't want to fall too far back and have a team that could use a wide receiver sneak up ahead of me to where I almost feel like let Hurts come in, play the next 2, then do the whole like, oh, we gave him a shot. We're going to let Wentz come back in for like you could let Wentz come in for the last 2. But honestly, if you think Wentz will win those games or have a better chance to win, there's a part of me that's like, fuck it, just let Hurts have the last 4. And if you lose all 4 of them, who cares? You get the fucking draft pick. You get to have Jamar Chase. Just start Carson Wentz next year with a new head coach.
See, I think that I think that because hearing the end of their schedule, I think they roll with Wentz this week.
Okay.
Because it is a competitive game against a top-tier team. And if you can't get it done, then you have a 3-team roll where I think the Cardinals will be tough but winnable. And the other 2 are toss-ups, straight-up toss-ups, divisional, like, hey, Washington football team and Cowboys, both of them are just like, meh, 50-50 games in my mind. So Wentz gets 1 more week, and then it's you pull the trigger on him. You'd be like, well, if you had a bad game against the Saints, which, let's be honest, a lot of people would expect that, but, hey, expectations have been shocked, as we've seen this past weekend.
Yeah,
nobody fucking saw a lot of things happen this weekend that happened. So like that's any given Sunday, baby. You know.
And I know that like JD says, you drafted Hurts for a reason. But let's be honest, the Eagles are stuck with Wentz until after next year because he's got a cap hit this year of 18.6. Next year that goes up to 34 million, and then if they take the potential out, he has a dead cap of 24, I want to say.
Convince the Bears to trade for him.
That too. Like, call up the Bears. Fuck it. In the offseason, do they call up the Colts? Like, I know that was something of like, I can't remember who I was listening to. I think it might have been McAfee today, where they're
trying
like,
to get Matt Stafford down there.
If they call up the Colts would just laugh at them because they're like, why would we give you that much for Carson Wentz? He's been garbage for you. But like, there's a team that I think would trade for him, right? Because like, that's my thing. Wentz isn't bad. Even Eric is saying what you said, Dave. If only he had weapons and an O-line that worked for him. Like, that's the problem. That's the problem.
To judge someone without being equipped to do it. You know, that's what we always gave full shit for when he was in Chicago. It was like, hey, you got no offensive line. You can't get comfy, and that's when he has time. When we saw him at his best, he was on a well-equipped offense over there in Philly, who had a great offensive line and who had great weapons available to him. He's got neither, you know. So I was like, well, what do you expect out of him?
Also, what was I gonna say? I had it and then I lost it, Dave. I completely lost it. I was gonna say something and then, it's gone. Fuck, I'm never gonna get that back. I hate when
Doug
that
Peterson.
happens. I hate
Bad
when
head
that. No,
coach.
it wasn't
Well,
Doug Peterson. I completely forgot what it was. I don't know. Fuck it. I'm not gonna remember it now. If I do, I'll just fucking interject it. But before we move on into the rest of the games that we had in week 13, Dave, let's do a segment we love to do. These are Wet Boys, the dampest of dudes, soggiest of shooters, moistest of men, and sometimes the mistiest of misses. These are Wet Boys, our players of the previous day, in this case, of the previous weekend. Usually how it goes is Dave gives a Wet Boy, I give a Wet Boy, and then the patrons at patreon.com/MVP-vids also get to vote each and every day for their Wet Boy as well. We got 3 great ones for you today. Did not preload them, so the old ones might come up first. Fuck it. It just happens like that some days. But Dave, who's your Wet Boy for the 7th of December, our year 2020?
Gotta go with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers just because he did hit a milestone. I mean, the man is now a legend. The game itself is just another Aaron Rodgers game, but really it's the 4 touchdowns in his career. He is the best touchdown interception ratio to hit 400 touchdowns. A little sad that it's not up there, but you know what? That's what it was. Just he's an incredible quarterback. I'm jealous of incredible quarterbacks. As someone in Chicago, we haven't had one since ever. And yeah, congrats, Aaron. Great game.
Yeah,
great career.
I mean, when I saw that, I was like, shit, and they drafted Jordan Love. They drafted Jordan Love because they thought that, Aaron's over the hill. He's on the downcline as we're throwing it back to that. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, greatness to get to quickest to 400? That's what you said?
I think he's quickest to 400, and also he has the best touchdown interception ratio.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 400 to like 86 or 80, 88.
Yeah.
Which if you think about the other quarterbacks who hit 400 touchdowns when they were there, like everybody else is like 100 and something interceptions. I think Favre's at like 200 and something interceptions. Like it's just he is by far and away the best quarterback we have seen play the game of football in a long time. Like Tom Brady is the winningest. But Aaron Rodgers might be the best.
Yeah. I laugh at Madro because he says, watch Love be as good as Rodgers.
It's not possible.
Some were saying, Rodgers is never going to be as good as Brett Favre. They were saying that. Why are we pushing Brett Favre out? We got Brett Favre.
And yet their careers have paralleled. They both started off very good. They both got an early Super Bowl win, and now neither one of them will win another for the rest of their career.
Aaron may have one more if he goes to another team. He may have one more,
Brett Favre.
Or I will say, it's either going to end the same way as Brett Favre, where Brett Favre's year with the Vikings, or he actually pays off on it and wins it. That's what I think.
The parallels between their careers. It's very fun. Yeah.
For my Wet Boy, Dave, it's not a Wet Boy. I'm going Misty Miss again, because there was a game that happened. I like how yours preloaded. Mine did not. Mine said, the Streamline said, nah, Ricky, fuck your Wet Boy. We don't like yours. But I'm going with Amber Ramirez of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Almost said Arizona. The number 16 team beat the number 4 team, Dave. Baylor goes down. Baylor, 2 years removed from a national championship, winning the Natty. They lose 83-78. Ramirez is a big reason why I led the team in scoring 13 points on the day. When you knock off one of the top 4 teams, I got to go ahead and give you some love. And also, Dave, now you get to see the graphic with the change. How you liking it compared to the percentages?
I'm good with it.
Okay. Because I know last time you were like, oh, let's switch it up. Wanted to see.
You want to do a slash instead of hyphen, though? Maybe a slash?
I thought about it, but I like the hyphen. Like, on ESPN, they do the hyphen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, slash for me is like, I don't know.
Okay.
Unless you think it's that bad.
The 3 pointers, the 2-3 space 3 is just a little, that's all.
Yeah, it was either her 2 for 3 from 3 or her 7 of 8 from the free throw line. It was either one of those. But shout out to Amber, great win for the Razorbacks. Sometimes I'm like, is it a weird thing? Like for Oklahoma State, they call the men's team the Cowboys, and and then they call the women's team the Cowgirls. Or like
Sure.
you've got the Vols and the Lady Vols. Part of me was like, is it the Razorbacks and the Lady Razorbacks? Is that what they're doing down there? Don't know. Razorback fans, let me know. And then the patron wet boy, Dave. Let's see if it loads. It did not. So color scheme is going to change. Is going to stay the same. Different player. Kyle Trask had himself a game. 4 touchdowns again. Our boy JD was like, Ricky, he had a good game yet again. I'm like, I know, JD. He had a good game. But here's my only question, Dave. Played Tennessee. Tennessee, not the worst of opponents. They've been a little bit better under Jeremy Pruitt, but still not the best of opponents. So, like, there's a part of me that thinks, like, did he beat a quality opponent? Like, yeah, he put up good stats, but did he beat a quality opponent? Although, like JD said, showing some love to Kyle Trask.
Look, I don't want to show love to Kyle Trask because I don't know if I want to draft him. That's the only. It's like a jinx situation. If I give him love, then that means I approve of a draft pick being used on Kyle Trask, which I don't know if I do or not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Watch some highlights of him. He's big, he's tall, he's got an arm, but he's also like, if he was better, shouldn't he have shown it earlier? I know this year he's having an elite year. Better season than Joe Burrow. He is statistically on that level.
But one had a natty. That's the problem.
See,
one had a natty.
No, they're not going to win a natty.
I don't know. Where isn't Florida? I think Florida's at like 6 right now. I think they're sniffing. Here, let me see. NCAA football. Let's pull up these rankings.
Let's see them.
Rankings. Really, ESPN, you're not going to show me the fucking playoff standings? Oh, playoff standings didn't come out for 15 yet. They come out tomorrow. Last week's was Alabama was 1. They won. Notre Dame also won. They were 2. Clemson also won. They were 3. I think Ohio State won.
Did they play even?
Did they have their game canceled again? I know they had Illinois canceled last week. Ohio State and then Texas A&M. So Texas A&M won. Yep. Ohio State did win. So Ohio State won 52-12. They ain't dropping.
Struggling with the hiccups.
Yeah, a little bit of a coming up. Texas A&M won 31-20. They ain't moving anywhere. Notre Dame won 45-21. The top 6 all won. So like basically nothing's moving.
Real shame that Clemson didn't have Trevor Lawrence to just beat down on the Golden Domers, because if they did, everybody moves up a notch. You know, I mean, everybody gets one step closer.
Let's be honest though. Like, I look at it, and I mean, yet again, I'm trying to think of the standings in the SEC. Florida may be in a good situation because I'm thinking, and JD, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Texas A&M and Florida are on the same side, and Alabama's on the other side. So if these all stay the same, Clemson, Notre Dame will play again one more time this season in their title game. One of them has to lose. And then if Alabama and Texas A&M play, one of them has to lose. And if Florida's at 6, they just automatically move up.
Gators beat Bama in the title game. We will make the playoffs. You're damn right.
Yeah, but that's the thing of, JD, is Texas A&M on the same side as the Gators? That I don't remember. Is Texas A&M in the Gators division, or are they in the Alabama region or whatever? Here, let me see.
I don't.
I hate using the ESPN app. I do.
Yeah.
Oh, they're on the Alabama side. So Florida would play Alabama. So Florida would have to beat Alabama.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Which means 2 of the top 4 teams would lose. And then, of course, Ohio State, they would have to play in their title game as well. So, like, yeah, I mean, if Kyle Trask plays well, beats Alabama, they're in the playoff, no problem. But those are our wet boys for today. And Dave, we got to get into it. It's going to be long. It's going to be great. NFL breakdown. We'll just start with the big one, because the Bears and the Lions did play. The Bears did have a lead.
And it did happen.
They gave it up. Stafford had 3 touchdowns. AP had a touchdown late. He finished with 2 on the day. Interesting stat that I found out today from the Bears. Do you want to know how many total points the Bears have scored in all of their third quarters this year?
7.
They've only scored one time.
I watched the graphic of the game, and I was like, yeah, it seems about right.
Like, I saw that today, and I was like, that's usually not that good. But, Dave, you're the Bear fan. I'm going to let you have the floor. I'm going to let you vent. Lions beat the Bears. What are your thoughts? What's going on in that dome of yours?
Watching this game with my parents, and that restricted my swearing quite a bit.
Because you got the youngsters running around, or the kids weren't there?
No, not there. Okay. But still, I toned it down a lot. But yeah, it was funny because my mom, like, started the fourth quarter. We scored literally, like, right at the start of the fourth quarter. And mom was like, see, they were just saving up the third quarter points for the fourth. And I was like, yeah, it's all good. We're leading. And she's like, well, I mean, they would have to blow like a 10-point lead in order to lose this game in the last couple of minutes. And I'm like, yeah, they would, but like, watch, it'll happen. They'll find a way to lose.
It'll happen.
That's the Bears. They'll find a way to lose. And I didn't. The fumble was a surprise. Didn't see that coming. But hey, we just suck. Our play calling sucks. Matt Nagy's an idiot. He deserves to be fired. Ryan Pace deserves to be fired. Our offensive line is straight booty. Allen Robinson, I don't know, like, beyond, like, he's already liked every post for, like, you should come play for my team, like, for every other team in the NFL. So, like, I don't know what else he can do to send a stronger message that, like, he really doesn't want to be there. But, like, yeah, it's just everything's bad and it hurts. And you know what's worse is, like, Khalil Mack, production-wise, has just been trash this year. And I get it. They're down some defensive line pressure, and our big offseason signing on the line for our sack machine hasn't gotten a sack in like 400 and something snaps. God, what was his name? Like Robert Quinn.
Yeah. Coming over from the was he from the Cowboys or the Rams? One of the two.
I think it was like 406 snaps or something. He's like one of the longest. For someone who is a pass rushing specialist, he sure as shit can't get to the quarterback. So no, like, we don't blitz. Like, our defense it was a joke when Matt Stafford drove 96 yards, 97 yards down the field in like 5 plays for a score because we just moved to zone and we get destroyed in zone. Who made the call to go to zone? Why did this make sense to anyone? Because the whole game we played them tight. We did press coverage, we did man, and things were working. Yes, we got beat a couple times over the middle. Safety not in the right spot, a little miscommunication shit. But like, once we went to zone, like, our linebackers were dropping in coverage and just getting beat left and right, and it was just like, fucking what? Like, I blinked 3 times and they were in the end zone, and I just started laughing. I don't have any reasonable reaction left anymore. It's just pathetic. That's what the Bears are. We had the win. We 100% had a win in our hands, and we shit the bed. And that just shows we have bad coaching. That's 100% on the coaches. The Trubisky fumble sucks, but it's still bad coaching. I don't care. Like, we should have never been in the situation where we were a fumble away from losing the game. So no, it's on Nagy. Pace needs to be fired with him. Both of them need to be run out of town, like, straight up out of Frankenstein. Like, get the pitchforks, get the torches, light them up. Let's get these bitches out of town. Let's restart this franchise over. If you need to trade Mac, trade Mac. If you need to move on from different pieces, don't care. No one's safe. Don't give a shit about anybody. Have no loyalty at all at this point. I want this team burned down to the ground and rebuilt, because that's just decades of frustration, Decades of frustration.
And I mean, for me, the thing that I kind of think of on the outside is, number one, got to give credit to the Lions. Also, got to give kudos to Darrell Bevins or Bevels for his coach. Like, stepping in. He was one where it was like, I said it coming into the picks, was when he was with Seattle, it was like, oh, watch him to be a head coach. Watch him to be a head coach. Comes in, gets the win. Now, come from behind win. Players are on the field, but hey, he's the one calling the play. Like, he's the one setting up the game day and everything. So congratulations to him to get the win. But like, with the Bears, the one thing I will say that I'm not sure if I'm 100% on, and I've seen it in the Discord a couple times, Dave, is the whole, fire Matt Nagy, bring in Pat Fitzgerald. I don't like that. And the reason why I don't like it is I don't have confidence in Pat Fitzgerald being a good NFL coach. If the Bears are going to go to the college ranks, some Bear fans will like this, some Bear fans won't. There's only one name I'm going at, and that's Jim Harbaugh. Only because I know he can run a team. I know he can do the job of the head coach right. Like, I'm not saying Bears are going to the Super Bowl with Harbaugh, but, like, he could do the job. He could set a team up for success. Now you got to draft the team, and I think he can. Like, he's
failed everywhere he's gone.
Yes, he had that fucking 49ers team was good when he was there. They only imploded because York wanted they only imploded because of the ego between York and Harbaugh, where York wanted credit for putting the team together. Harbaugh was like, well, no, I'm calling the plays and stuff. And then they just that's when York fired him and said, no, you're gone. Like, I'm the one that put the team together. So, like, for me, that's the college coach that I go to. Is that the main coach I'm going at? I don't know. Yet again, I don't know what the coaching pool looks like, because right now it's what? You're either going to college or you're getting what? Dan Quinn, Matt Patricia, any of the assistants out there, unless you're going to do that. Like, that's right now what our pool looks at. Let me wait and see what kind of happens, who gets fired where, what's going on. Oh, Greg Williams. You can hire Greg Williams, too, because he got fired this week, Dave. He got fired today from the Jets. Which I will get to that when we get to that game. Next one we're going to talk about, though, is Saints-Falcons. Our patron and fellow friend, Jake Neverman, he let you and me have it in the Discord. Where apparently that's what we get, Dave, for picking the Falcons against the Saints. I mean,
be honest.
So what? I picked the Falcons. Like, the Saints, Taysom Hill's been good. Yeah, he had 2 touchdown passes, but like I think this to me is more of the Saints stayed consistent, where they weren't amazing, but they weren't bad. It's more so on the Falcons, to where it's like, how hot and cold can this team be to where you're blowing out the fucking Raiders, and then it's like 21-9 for most of the game, or 21-6 for most of the game, and then the end 21-16.
Yeah, no, they're a hot and cold team. Clearly, I didn't realize how far it could swing though. Like, I was like, oh, they're on a heater still. Like, I'm gonna ride this heater with the Falcons. They got, I know the Saints have a great defense, but still, like, that Falcons offense fucking clicks. Nah, shouldn't have done it. Should have just played smart move. Just pick the better team, Dave. Yeah, pick the better team.
And the only reason I went with the Falcons was after you picked them, because I wanted to. I was leaning Falcons, but like, I should have done the same thing. I should have been like, fuck it. Let's go with the Saints. But like, this team down 21-9, they get the touchdown late. Obviously they had a chance, and I think turned over the ball in the 4th to give the game officially to the Saints. But like, the thing that I will ask with the Saints is, and this is something I'm wondering, is can this team make a playoff push without Drew Brees? Let's say Drew Brees can't come back this year. Is this going to be a Saints team that we doubt in the playoffs and they prove us wrong and Taysom Hill brings them to the Super Bowl?
Entirely fucking possible. That's how good that defense is. And Alvin Kamara. But like, that defense, just they're rock stars out there at times. They shut Tom Brady up and made him look like a old retired man, and he needed to quit the game. Obviously they held their own against Matty Ice. Like, any given week they can hold up, and that's the problem. Like, Taysom Hill, honestly, he's doing the right things to win the game. I mean, that's I don't love him, but I also don't hate him. So I guess that's good.
I mean, next week they should have a winnable game. They got the Eagles on the road.
We talked about that one.
Yeah. Then it's Chiefs and Vikings, which will be harder games. I'm not going to say they're for sure, especially the Viking game. I'm not going to say it's a for sure loss. And then the Panther game, which should be a win, but Teddy Two Gloves has played well this year.
If he comes back.
If he comes back, too. Like, the Saints have locked up a playoff berth. It's just now, can they lock up the first overall seed and get that bye? Next game is Cleveland, Tennessee. And this was one, Dave.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is Tennessee a bad team?
No, they're not.
What?
They're not a bad
team.
The rule?
Ricky, the rule? Recite the rule for me.
They're not a bad team. They started off slow.
Baker Mayfield only beats bad teams. Therefore, by the rule of Baker, the Tennessee Titans are a bad team.
By the rule of Baker, but like the big thing in this is I'm not gonna say the Titans are a bad team. I think the Browns showed the blueprint on how you beat the Titans. You limit you limit King Henry.
4 touchdowns in the first half.
I mean, like,
you do something that only Baker Mayfield has done before.
So
twice now this year, he scored 4 touchdowns in one half of football. Baker Mayfield is borderline elite this season. He has led the Browns to a winning record this season for the first time in God knows how long.
Yeah.
I'm stunned.
But they almost gave the game away, and like that's the thing where it's like this game was a tale of two halves, where we saw the amazingness of what the Browns could be, scoring 38 of their 41 points in the first half, but then got completely trashed in the they got outscored 28-3 in the second half. So like they almost gave the game to the Titans. Like here you go. And like that's why to me it's like, yes, I have a hate boner for the Browns. I do. It's a raging hate boner.
Yeah, you do.
I can't believe they're in the playoffs right now, and I don't want them in. Titans are not a bad team. I mean,
when team in the AFC.
When Derrick Henry only rushes for 60 yards, that's a problem. If the Titans want to win, Derrick Henry needs to, I don't want to say play better, but he needs to have better production. Like, that's it. He's got to have better production.
He's a guy who usually the more carries he gets, the better he gets, and they limit him to 15 carries because they put them in such a hole to start the game.
Yep. I mean, you're not wrong. It's just, I think this is one where if I'm the Titans, you fucking forget it, move on. This is one of like, you just forget it, move on.
The rule of Baker. Like, the Titans are a bad team.
They're not a bad team.
I'm in on
everyone gets lucky.
Baker Mayfield only beats bad teams. Therefore, Titans, I'm sorry. You are a bad team.
Dave, the next game, Bengals-Dolphins. You know what my takeaway from this game was? I can't remember which league it was, whether it was the MVP league or our personal league. Yeah. But in one of them, I think it was our personal league, I was like, man, I need a tight end.
Mike Gesicki.
I'm like, do I pick up Gesicki?
I got Gesicki in a league.
I know, you have him in ours. But like, I was like, do I pick up Gesicki? Do I? And I was like, no, he doesn't get enough target. Like, unless he gets a touchdown. And that was like, fuck. He got a touchdown. He got 88 yards. He got 9 catches. It's like, shit, I should have fucking picked up Gesicki. Like, that was my biggest takeaway from this game, was not even that the Dolphins only won 19-7, that the Bengals tried to come back at the end, but luckily lost to keep the tank on. But like, this was one to where it was like, for me, it was like, shit, I should have picked Gesicki up in fantasy. That's all I could think
watched
about.
Like a minute and a half of this game, and I don't feel bad about that at all. I'm happy to admit it. This was a bad game, and I don't think anyone expected it to be a better game. Tua didn't look terrible, which is good news. That's about all my takeaways are.
Myles Gaskin didn't look bad either. He returning from, I think he was returning from injury in this game. He looked well, 90 yards in the game. It's just one of those things where the Dolphins are in the playoffs right now. If the season would end today, I believe.
Yeah. Well.
And it's just one of like Miami. If you
was a fight in this game, that's a good point, JD.
The big brawl. I forgot about that. Kerfuffle. Cafefe. Forgot about that. The big fucking brawl that happened. Yet again, this could be one where it's like, just forget it and move on. But like, there could be another one of like, if you can't blow out the bad Bengals, what do I expect for you to do in the playoffs? But like, Bengal fans, you get exactly what you want. You lose. You get to tank for that high pick. Talking about tanking for high picks, Dave, Jacksonville and their fans were almost celebrating, not because they almost won the game, but because they were probably watching the Jets going, hey, if the Jets win, because of strength of schedule, the Jaguars become the first pick. And I had a tweet lined up, Dave, before I went to my secondary tweet. Trevor Lawrence was almost a Jacksonville Jaguar for a second.
Is he still locked for the number 1 overall pick?
For right now, yeah.
Because he has not looked good this season. I can just say that out loud and not feel bad, right?
Until we get to like combine and stuff, like
Okay.
Right now, he is the lock for number one, but until we get to the combine and shit.
From what we've seen this year, I would take Fields over him. I know there's a strength of body of work.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the years past, that Trevor Lawrence is the guy to take here, but I'm just saying, like, this year he has not looked great.
I mean, yet again, like...
Not the time for it, but I'm just throwing out my feelings that, yes.
I don't know, it kind of is, because, like, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to get one of these guys.
Yeah.
They're going to get one of them, and it's
I feel like the gap is closed. I don't think there is a Trevor Lawrence here and then Fields here. I think it's like
I don't know. I don't think the gap is that tight. Only because
tanking does you matter of tanking.
Tanking
I know
does exist in football.
There, but
but like
football. Well, somebody didn't tell Greg Williams that because he made damn sure those Jets were losing that game.
You know, we will get to that. I'm biting my tongue. I'm going to get to it when we get to the game. But yeah, like Jacksonville played well. This is the game you want to see from Jacksonville if you're a Jacksonville fan. You do everything to win, but in the end you lose. You secure that number 2 pick to where it's like, hey, this team has some talent.
Win the game.
Exactly. But like, because if you won, then it's like you're hurting yourself by getting a higher draft pick. But like, if I'm the Vikings, there was a part of me that went, oh shit, like, what's going on here? Like, why are we not blowing out the Jacksonville Jaguars? And at the same time, I'm like, well, Jacksonville record is a bad team, but like they do have guys on this team that can get it done. I didn't expect Mike Glennon to look good. Yeah, he had 2 interceptions, but like he didn't look terrible in the game out there. To where I'm like, man, we're really gonna let the ginger giraffe. And then every time Robinson touched the ball, it was like, I'm mad because I'm a Vikings fan, but I love it because I'm a fantasy owner of Robinson. Also, like you and I were talking about Justin Jefferson, like new number 1 on this team. Adam Thielen move over. No. JJ's in town.
Completely wrong. Adam Thielen's number 1, which allows Justin Jefferson to get help, or to not get the help over the top from the safeties.
Such a good deep ball threat.
Thielen pulls aggro. In terms that us gamers understand, Thielen pulls aggro. He has that, attention around him because he is the deceptively quick guy out there, a real lunch pail guy.
Yeah.
That they got to respect him, so they don't want to get beat by Adam Thielen because that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
But when Justin Jefferson breaks the top off, he is just so good. Just there, this year has been the year of the wide receivers. I mean, between Mapletron, who else came out? There's like 2 more wide receivers. I mean, great year. Mooney even.
Did you say Claypool?
I said Mapletron.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that's his nickname.
There's a lot of great wide receivers out of this class, and I think that's
CeeDee Lamb until their quarterbacks got fucking killed.
Yeah, murdered.
T. Higgins.
Big. That pairing's going to be great for a long time running.
Michael Pittman Jr.'s had some good games with the Colts.
Again, this was one of the best years for wide receivers ever, I think.
Jerry Jeudy's shown some good spurts.
Yeah, he's not dead. Rhaegar just won a game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got that going for you. Yeah, I mean, it's just, Kudos to Justin Jefferson. Great breakout season. Putting up numbers, Randy Moss-esque. He's not quite in that category yet, but we still got 4 games. And I'll be honest with you,
comparing him to the Moss Man already, right?
Their styles are nothing alike. I'm just gonna, so people don't get whatever about it. I'm just saying from a production standpoint,
they're not getting mossed on.
Mossed, it's mossed at. Mossed, just mossed at.
Thank you.
84 jerseys on. Yeah, no, like from a production standpoint, I'm just saying, it's incredible what he's doing, and he's on a great pace. And that's with Kirk Cousins as your quarterback, who you've slandered up and down, and a lot of people have, rightfully so, for a long time. So shut the fuck up.
I was so worried in this game too because I said one nice thing about him on Friday, and I was like, he started playing bad, and I was like, God damn it! I said one nice thing, and he starts playing like shit again. So I just Kurt, it's nothing personal. I'm just gonna hate you the rest of the year because you play better when I hate your fucking guts. And if I die, I die. That's basically just how you gotta live. That's the motto of this team. If I die, I die. Talking about if I die, I die. Going to the Jets, who used to have a player or have a player. Used to have a player that believed that he wanted to die on the football field. Jamal Adams said that it would be the greatest honor to die on the football field, former Jet. I have some thoughts on this game, Dave. Number one, Raiders deserve to lose this game, and they're lucky they got out with a win. Number two, Greg Williams did not deserve to get fired, Dave. He saved the Jets and saved their pick, because here's what it is. I heard Rex Ryan this morning on Get Up's like, oh, that was a dumb call. Why did he call the blitz? Da-da-da-da. Greg Williams was thinking, oh, shit, we're going to win this game. We're not going to get that quarterback. Let me call a blitz and blow this game. That's what he was thinking. He saved the season. Saved the winless season. Yeah, bring the safeties down.
Fuck the help coverage. Don't play goal line defense. Fuck all that. Blitzing. I love it.
Come on. He saved the season. This team doesn't want to win.
Talking about how Greg Williams could accidentally win them a game if he becomes the head coach for 3 games to end the season. And instead, Greg Williams, 200 IQ play there, blitzes and blows the top off the,
Not once, but twice. It was 2 big plays by Ruggs that got them that touchdown. There was the one that got him to the 50 and then one that got him to the fucking end zone. Oh, man. Yeah. That's my thought of, maybe he did it on purpose because the Jets don't want to win. They would have been the number 2 pick.
Like a running throw. He took 3 steps into it forward as he, launched it down there. And it was just oh, that is not pretty, but it worked.
Oh, but this Raiders team did not deserve to win this game.
No.
Did not deserve to win it. And, the Raiders, if they squeak into the playoffs, I hope they get demolished in their first game. That's how much they don't deserve a playoff spot if they do end up making it. That's all I got on that game. The Colts-Texans, I'll be honest, I didn't expect the Texans to make this one a game. But, the Colts are lucky to get out with the win, of course, because now they're tied with the Texans, or not with the Titans again after their loss to the Browns. But, I did not expect the Texans to make this one a game. Only because, we talked about it. Will Fuller, what happened?
The Washington football team is about to win the game.
Okay. All right.
They are about to win this game.
Okay.
Sorry,
season ends. The way you were like, oh no, I was like, oh shit, who got injured?
No.
Who's out for the year, Dave? Or what big NBA news dropped and now we have to spend a half hour talking about it?
17 seconds left and Pittsburgh will be receiving a kickoff.
Okay.
Anyway, we were talking about football that already completed in the Houston matchup.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean Watson just chucks the ball around. That's what he does.
And when you don't have
I don't know who Chad Hansen is. Nobody knows who Chad Hansen is, but the guy had a day. But Kiki Cutie, someone who we love. Great game. Huge game. Cut 8 out of 9 targets on the day, just massively productive. And again, maybe Duke, or maybe the Johnsons, I should say, because Duke receiving was good, David rushing, passable. It was just they had an all-around game. And I do have to apologize to Jonathan Taylor. He had a very nice game. He did not have a Trent Richardson game.
He's not Trent Richardson.
I am sorry. More of these will put you out of the Trent Richardson category. One game does not make a not Trent Richardson, but you're on the right path.
The next one, Dave, Rams at the Cardinals. And this was one where this is the game that not necessarily the offense, because Goff only had 1 touchdown, but the run game is what Goff had a rushing touchdown. Fucking Henderson had a rushing touchdown. Akers had one on 3rd down where it was 3rd and inches, and he just zipped past. And it's I'm just gonna will myself into the end zone through you guys. If you're a Cardinals fan, are you concerned after a loss like this that maybe this team is
had 2 fumbles
on the down?
1 lost, and it's just his mistakes lost them the game. This was a Kyler Murray giveth, Kyler Murray taketh away kind of a game. He had a pick 6. And then he had a fumble that they lost. He had another fumble that killed momentum. I understand that you're not going to be a superstar every day, but this is 100% a Kyler Murray game.
Yeah. And this team 1-4 in their last 5. Their last win comes against Buffalo on the 15th of November.
It's not good.
I mean, the good thing is their next 2 games are against the NFC East. So maybe you pick up 2 good wins here. I mean, the Giants, though, Colt McCoy's making them play well. So maybe that Giants game ain't as good of a game, ain't as easy as a win.
Ricky,
but
what
the Eagles.
What happened in that game?
What, the Giants Seahawks game?
Yeah, can we just jump to that real?
What that was happened? 3 to Seahawks are up 3-0 at half, and I remember the announcers going, "Yeah, I just kneel it from here, and if I'm the Giants, I take it to halftime because you're only down 3-0 against the fucking Seahawks."
I mean, what the? Is Russell Wilson dead? I don't want to steal the shtick from fucking Pat McAfee, but he's dead, right? He's just dead. Like, I don't understand. You have Chris Carson back. Your running game is available.
Yeah.
And yet your offense looks horrid. And against a Giants team who has just given up gaping amounts of yards to everyone they've played this year.
I mean, you've got DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, too. Like, you've got two of the best wide receivers in football. However, though, Colt McCoy, the one thing I will say, the only interception on his part, though, wasn't his fault. Because he threw it right to Ingram's hands. Ingram was just like, oh, it's going to go through my hands. And it tipped into the DB's hands. Yep. Like, Colt McCoy played a good game. Like,
hell game from Wayne Gallman.
Yeah, that too. 135 yards. Yeah.
I'm glad I picked him up in fantasy. He saved my booty.
So, by the way, I have to apologize on the record to Mr. Brandon Swanson because I'm hiding behind my mic because he asked me, should I play Wayne Gallman or Miles Sanders?
Oh no!
And I told him to play Miles Sanders because I wasn't sure how Gallman was going to play. So, Brandon, I'm sorry. I'm going to hide behind my mic now.
Yikes.
I'm just going to hide behind my mic the rest of the show. Don't take fantasy advice from Ricky, which we give our fantasy advice every Friday.
We do.
Which, by the way, Kirk didn't have I was worried that Kirk was going to have a worse game than he did. Good thing he ended up with 21 points to kind of save myself of like, oh, maybe you didn't have to be scared of the games that we thought we were scared of. But yeah, the Giants, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs in that division.
Their first game. It's official.
Hell yeah, we'll talk about that too. We talked about the Eagles, but like the Packers, they're on a roll.
Go Pack.
Go Pack, go. They win again. Aaron Rodgers looked great. Aaron Jones had a great game. Adams had a great game.
They're having fun. This just confirms that MVS is an idiot. And Aaron Rodgers hates him. Because Lazard, he speaks so highly of how smart a player Lazard is. I love playing with smart guys. Physical players, you get them, they cycle in and out of teams, but smart players, man, I love to win with smart players. Lazard comes back instantly, back in the targets. It's just one of those things. MVS is out. He's done, Ricky.
Yeah. The next one boggled me, Dave.
Did it put your mind in a bottle?
It put my mind in a bottle because not only, I knew the Patriots were going to win this game. But I did not expect them to put up the zero burger or the zero burger for the Chargers. And also I did not expect them to win with their quarterback throwing under 100 yards. Cam Newton had under 100 yards, under 100 rushing yards, but got in the end zone 3 times. Or got in the end zone twice and threw into the end zone once for 3 touchdowns. How the hell did this game even happen, Dave?
This is what happens when your head coach tells your team that they are done for the year.
Good fucking point.
He did kind of say that out loud.
I mean, they are
officially done for the year.
Yeah, 8 and 7 carries between their 2 running backs. 15 carries between the 2 of them?
It was a very bad game, and I did not know that. I watched that game. It felt like slow motion, the way the beatdown happened, because it wasn't just the offense.
Yeah,
obviously they killed the Chargers with special teams. I didn't realize the stat. It was 3 different plays on special teams where they had fucked up dramatically and had not enough guys on the field or too many guys on the field. And then obviously the kick return, they had 2 scores on special teams. So it's just the Patriots in all 3 phases dominated. And yeah, I get it. It wasn't a pretty game, but hey, Jared Stidham threw a bomb. He threw a bomb.
Yeah.
Gotta give him credit.
Which also I will throw out. The play-by-play announcer, can't remember who it was for that game. Just kudos to Bill Belichick for his just what they were talking about, because this was the first game Belichick coached at SoFi Stadium. The amount of detail that he plays into things is he was out there before the game mapping okay, this is where I'm going to be. Where are the play clocks? Where's the game clock? Where down to that minuscule type of thing, Dave, of
he probably had it from his video footage.
Where is everything on the field before the game? Yeah, I mean, but he's doing that kind of preparation where most people would be like, I'll figure it out when I'm out there. Not Bill Belichick. Not Bill Belichick. That's why he's better than Tom Brady, folks. And that's why Tom Brady's having all these troubles down there in Tampa, or Tampa, as we should say.
Okay.
Then the Sunday night game, Dave, I thought the fucking Broncos were going to win this for a hot second. Like, fucking Drew Lock, he was like, Patty Mahomes is one thing, but I'm another thing. Let's go. Like, Tim Patrick, 2 touchdowns. The Chiefs won it in the end. Also, kudos to Travis Kelce for being he's had 5 straight seasons of 1,000 yards receiving. So kudos to him.
Incredible. He's probably the second best tight end of all time.
Yeah,
like it's
probably.
Gronk and then it's him. Mm-hmm. I think he's jumped Antonio.
Is Gronk the greatest tight end of all time?
How is he not?
You've got I'm just gonna throw out names.
Gonzalez.
You've got Gonzalez. You've got Jason Widmer. Shockey is another one I think of.
Shockey's not as high up.
Tony Gonzalez with the Falcons.
Oh, I already said Tony Gonzalez because the Chiefs, but yeah. Who's the guy from the Chargers?
Antonio Gates.
Yeah. So Gates, Gonzalez. I think Gronk is better than both of them, and I think that Kelce has jumped them at this point in his career. He is one of the best, if not the best, pass catching tight end of all time.
Let's see. Athlon Sports. This is from April of this year. Top 25 tight ends of all time. I'm just going to jump to the top 5 because that's all I fucking care about. Number 1, they had Tony Gonzalez. Number 2, Antonio Gates. Number 3 was Gronk. Number 4 was Shannon Sharp. Skip. Kellen Winslow. Forget about Kellen Winslow.
Kellen Winslow, yeah.
Ozzie Newsome. I wasn't Mike Ditka. I wasn't fucking alive for them. Jason Witten was 9, and then Greg Olson at 11. Those are the ones we grew up with.
Travis Kelce didn't rate.
Not in April of this year.
He had 4 1,000-yard seasons at that point in his career. He didn't rate above those 10. Fucking jabronis.
Yeah, it wasn't top 10. There was like Don Capers or something in there. No. Or Don Casper or something like that. Dan Casper.
Past who you are on the field right now, Travis Kelce is probably number 3 all time.
Well, yeah,
or
he's
4
younger.
4. I'll be generous and say 4th all time as far as tight ends are concerned in their production. Like, he just does things that these other guys can't. Mm-hmm. Yes, Tony Gonzalez had a decade plus of success, and that was great. And yes,
I feel like I would compare Kelce to a Tony Gonzalez in the fact of when it comes to fantasy and when it comes to his reliability on the field. It's like he's going to be out there. Yeah, I know Kelce's got a ring, but I'm saying like just play, not ring. But like,
yeah, I'm saying like he's going to get another one.
Oh yeah, but that's also because he's got possibly the fucking greatest young quarterback that we've seen in the game right now.
Yeah, that's how it works.
He's got the best quarterback in the league. Yeah,
name a great tight end without a quarterback, Ricky. You can't because they need someone to throw the goddamn ball.
Antonio Gates had Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, that's the struggles. Struggle.
Tony Gonzalez he didn't have Matt Ryan for everything.
Right. No, he played.
He had fun. I think he had Brad Johnson for a couple of years.
I mean, he is still one of the greatest of all time. I mean, like I moved him to 2 because I think Gronk is better than him just because he's Gronk.
Yeah.
But like, that's disrespectful.
Falcons all time. Damn it! I don't care about Falcons allowing fans in the stadiums.
Yeah.
So Falcons.
Travis Kelce, one of the greatest all time, top 5 tight end of all time. I think in many people's reigns by the time that he is all said and done with his career, he's just fantastic. And he's a game breaker. How the fuck do you cover someone with that kind of size and that kind of speed? You don't. And when he runs a fucking just a seam route right at the middle of the field, you're fucked. And that's all they did.
So real quickly before I move on to the team that finally lost the game. Sure. The quarterbacks that Tony Gonzalez had in his career. The first one he had was Elvis Garbach, but he also had Rich Gannon during a couple of those years.
Rich Gannon.
Trent Green with the Chiefs. He had him for a while. Damon Hurd and Brody Croyle. Matt Castle, because that's when he got shipped over. No, wait. I'm dumb. He wasn't there that long. So till 2008. So scratch that. He was traded. He moved right before Matt Castle. So Garbach, Warren Moon for a game. Rich Gannon, Trent Green, Brody Croyle were his main quarterbacks. Then in Atlanta, when he came over in 09 to 15, I think he played 13. 09 to 13, he had Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
So in Atlanta, it was just Matt Ryan. Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't have fucking Chandler. Chandler was before that. But yeah, like he had good quarterbacks as well, especially in Atlanta with Matt Ryan. The game we didn't watch because we were doing a show, Dave, but Steelers finally get a loss. What does it mean?
Nothing.
What does it all mean, Basil?
Doesn't mean anything.
What does it mean about
we talked about this. I specifically mentioned it, Ricky. I called out. I was like, wouldn't that be the game where just one of these games they're just going to lose? I picked the Bengals where they were going to choke and lose. But I mean, Washington's a team with Alex Smith can sling it. I think was my exact words.
Yeah.
You're like,
he only had one touchdown though. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
Peyton
what about
Barber.
Kittle? We forgot about Kittle.
Kittle will be up there,
injured.
but his injury history is just going to kill his career numbers. Peyton Barber, not a very productive day on the ground. 14 carries for 23 yards. But again, Pittsburgh didn't have a running back either. So neither one of these teams with a very strong running attack. Both under 50 yards, and they had 21 yards for the Steelers and 45 for the Washington football team. It's a tough game. I mean, a very tough game.
It's weird though, because this almost seems like the reverse of what I've said about the Steelers, where it's like, oh, they start out slow. That's their problem. They jumped out 14-0. I know, or I should say, did they start out slow because they didn't score until the second quarter?
Maybe.
So like that's a thing of like, did they does this team need to get some more like the Bears have a problem in the third quarter? Does this team have a first quarter problem, Dave, where they're just not going to score in the first quarter against good teams? But yeah, it's like they jumped out. They were up 14-0, then 14-3 by halftime. And that looks like just in the fourth quarter. Like they're up 17-10, and then you let Washington score 3 times, tie the game, kick a field goal, and then they end up winning. Obviously, they could have won it on a touchdown, but like, if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm not panicking because I'd rather have that loss now than in the playoffs. That's
right, obviously. I mean, if you're choosing, not like that's a thing that actually happens, but yeah.
I mean, now what? I think the Chiefs are even with them.
Yeah, they're even in record. We'll see strength of schedule or whatever wins in conference, not conference, who takes the number 1 seed overall. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people expected the Steelers to lose one game at least out of this final batch just because it's who they are. They play down to their opponents. So we saw it last week where it was like dramatically like, holy shit.
So the Steelers win the tiebreaker over the Chiefs based on best win percentage of conference games. Okay. They're still undefeated in conference, whereas the only loss the Chiefs have is in conference.
Yep. Well, I guess the question is are the Browns on that final stretch of games for the Steelers?
Oh, let me see.
Because if they are,
I don't think
it is Bills, Bengals,
week 17.
Browns.
Yeah, week 17.
That's gonna suck.
The Browns are not gonna beat the fucking Steelers.
This could be the game where the Browns are like, "Hey, we're gonna make it."
Way.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers are a bad team.
No way. I
there's a rule.
Rules are meant to be broken, though, Dave. Rules are made to be broken. You know what I'm confused with that baffles me?
Huh.
So, how could the Chiefs be 11-1 and clinch a playoff berth, but the Steelers are 11-1 and have not clinched the playoff berth?
Because Cleveland's 9-3.
No, I mean playoff berth, not division. I just mean playoff berth. Like, how can the Chiefs clinch a playoff berth, but then the Pittsburgh Steelers haven't, and they have the same exact record? Like, that confuses me on ESPN.
Because the Browns are 9-3. That's exactly why.
No.
Yes,
I'm not talking
the point is, if they lose out for the rest of the year, the Browns could take over the number 1 spot or the number 2 spot from them. And then they could get knocked out because the wild card team of either the Colts or the Dolphins / Bills could take that wild card spot.
So then it should say that the Chiefs have clinched the division, not a playoff berth.
I don't know. I'm going off of what I assume here.
Yeah, it just confuses me that like if the Chiefs have clinched just the playoff berth, the Steelers should as well. Yet again, confuses me. ESPN, have a better app because your app fucking
It
sucks.
just hasn't updated yet. They updated the records, but maybe didn't update the little X's and dashes next to their name.
But I'm still gonna call out a bad app when it's a bad app because I always have
Ricky,
problems with it.
You know what? You know what app it's better than?
Is it better than the NFL fantasy app?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Hey man,
How would you be thankful for what you do have?
The way your team's playing, you might not be able to delete that app yet. I may be able to delete it after next week based on how your team's playing.
True. If I pull off another miracle win, who knows?
I don't know, dude. Right now you're up 133-93. It depends on how Oster and Debo do tonight for me, but yeah, next week might not be a good one. But that's going to do it for us. Let us know what you guys think, obviously, down below about anything we talked about. A brisk an hour and a half show. Just a brisk hour and a half show. It didn't help. We talked 30 minutes on James Harden and then like 40 minutes to an hour on
the James Harden thing. And start off with the history of Harden, the current situation, and then
you got to go into the
trade situations.
It's the fun stuff, right? All the fun stuff. But yeah, we're going to be back tomorrow. NBA predictions for the season. Dave and I give our records, give who's going to win the finals and everything like that.
LeBron James too.
What?
Probably LeBron James too. He tweeted it was not a mistake of the length of his contract to play with his son.
Oh, okay. So he did officially say
the best thing about this year, the best thing about it is the year. I'll be a free agent. The same time my oldest son graduates high school, so I'll have some options to see. For me personally, what I want to do forward, being around my family, being around my son more, continue playing this game.
Yeah, he's going to play wherever Bronny plays.
Yeah,
it's exactly what we thought. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Remember, join the best community on the internet, that Discord, link down below in the description, or !Discord into Twitch chat. Patreon.com/MVP vids if you want to support us. Again, link down below, or !Patreon into Twitch chat gets you into that. We're on Twitch every Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/MVP vids, but we're also on YouTube at MVP Sports. So go ahead and like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff at both places. Make sure you never miss a thing from MVP. Want to thank you guys for doing everything you do. Like I said, Dave and I will be back tomorrow. And as always, have a good day, everybody.